Lamb to the Slaughter. Today I am discussing about the chapter Lamb to the Slaughter was written by a British novelist, short story writer and a poet. It is a short story written by him. It is taken from the Bible, which means in an unconcerned manner. Today we are discussing the two things, that the irony of the story and the significance of the title. First, the irony of the story. The story is full of irony, is the contrast between what is said and meant and thought and known and what happens in the contrast to what is expected. The several utterances by the characters in the story have an underlying meaning. This makes them ironic. The actions of the characters also turn to be ironic. We see irony is the behavior of Patrick. We see irony in the behavior of Patrick. Mary loves him and very much. We see her waiting her husband to come home from work. Now and again she would look at the clock. When it is 10 to 5, the car arrives and her husband enters to the room. She greets him with a hello and his response. She takes his coats and hangs in the closet. The ma- then she makes two drinks, a strong one for him and weak one for herself. Then she sits on, her husband sits on the opposite chair. For her, this was always a blissful time of the day. She knew he didn't want to speak much until the first drink was finished. She was happy, quiet, and enjoying his company after sitting alone for long in the house. She enjoyed the warm male glowing, what make out of him like a sunbather feels in the sun, and what does she gets in return. He is going to divorce her, and she is 6 months pregnant. The first ironic character is explaining the behavior of Patrick. Mary loves him very much, and she is waiting for husband to come from work from home. She is looking at the clock every second, and when it is 10 to 5, he comes home, and she greets him, and she takes his clothes coat and hangs on the closet, and she makes two drinks, one for him, strong one, and her weak one for herself, and she sits on the chair, and her husband is sitting on the opposite chair, and it is the blissful time for her because she is sitting along in the house for alone, and she knew that her husband does not want to talk when his first drink was finished, and she was quite happy and enjoying his company, and she's enjoying the warm male glow that come out of him like a sunbather feels in the sun. She's enjoying her husband's presence in that moment, and she's getting written that, and he's going divorce her, and she was 6 months pregnant. This character of the Patrick is much ironic, and the next ironic character is there is there is an irony in Mary telling the people in her house that they would doing a favor by eating the lamb in the oven. There is a great irony in detectives and policemen eating the lamb. Actually, the lamb is murder weapon, and they have to investigate the murder, and they are eating the murder weapon, so to say. The irony reaches its climax when O'Malley tells Jack Noon that the murder weapon is right here on the premises, probably right under our noses. Yes, it was right there under their with every noses, and they were finishing it first. And next ironic behavior, that Mary is telling to the detectives and policemen in the house to eat the lamb in her oven, and actually the lamb was a murder weapon which is used to she used to kill uh, the Patrick, and the investigators and detectives are eating the lamb, and they want to investigate the murder weapon to prove the crime, and they are eating it. And in the climax, O'Malley tells Jack Snow that we are looking at the murder weapon, and it is right under our noses. Yes, it was right under their noses and they were finishing it first. They are finishing it very first, okay? And next, significance of the title. The phrase "the lamb to the slaughter" is borrowed from the Bible. It is from Jeremiah 11:19 and it says that I was like a lamb being led to the slaughter. I had no idea that they were planning to kill me. Mary was bringing the lamb to cook supper for Patrick, but the lamb ate him in the sense that it became the instrument of his death. So, lamb to the slaughter means an unconcerned manner. In the story, the lamb can be Patrick, who was the victim to his wife Worth. Lamb can be also the truth or the evidence to the crime which was slaughtered by the people, and showing the lamb looked at every point of view little more appropriate. Thank you.